Hey everyone, how's it going? My name's Cloud, and welcome to my personal VOD reviews of Locals. In this episode, we'll be taking a look at Game 3 of Week 2 of the OP11 Meta, where I played Green Yellow Yamato versus Green Purple Monkey D. Luffy. Here's the deck list that I played in this match, and if you haven't already done so, please go check out the Locals retro video I made that covers this deck list and my overall thoughts on how Locals went this week. Without further ado, let's hop into the game. Moving on to game number 3 for week 2 of the OP11 meta, I'm playing Green Yellow Yamato versus Green Purple Luffy. Another very strong leader in the current meta, kind of carrying on his power from EB02. It's going to be a rough matchup since they can just use their Dawn so effectively to counter out, go to 6k, everything. Hopefully my aggression will be able to maybe win the game early. We'll see. Let's go on to the dice roll here. I'm gonna roll a 10, very high number, and my opponent rolls an 8, so it is my pick. Alright, looks like I'm picking to go second. I've been doing well going second. Being able to swing 9k on my second turn has been really good, so we're gonna stick to that game plan. Let's take a look at our initial hand here. Alright. We've got 6 cost Momonosuke, 4 cost Kikunojo, 1 cost Otama, 2 cost Izo, and 1 cost Yamato. Let's do a counter check. We've got a 2k, a 1k, and a 1k. So we only have 4k counter in hand. That's a little low, but at least we have a 2k and some 1ks. Looking at the cards though, I'm actually really happy with my hand because we have the 1 cost Yamato Searcher, which not only lets me look through my top 5 to pick out a Land of Wano card that costs 2 or more, but if I get it down on board early and attach 2 Dawn to it, it becomes a 5k attacker, which is very helpful once I get my leader ability online. Additionally, we've got the 2 cost Izo. This Izo, similar to the 1 cost Yamato, if I'm able to attach 2 Dawn to it, I'll be able to make it a blocker. So this is going to be really good. If I get this down early, I can maybe use 2 Dawn, make it a blocker early, make it a blocker later. Very good card for Yamato having a chunk blocker. But it also gives my leader banish, so we can go for some proactive early game double attack banish. Liking those 2 cards in hand, we also have the 4 cost Kikunojo in hand. Normally I wouldn't be happy to see this because I would prefer it to be in life. But since we have our Searcher Yamato, I can use this Yamato to search out the 2 cost Hiyori in order for me to set it up, so it's not bad. And finally, the 6 cost Momonosuke that I've got right here. This is a really good alternative to Hody Jones. I'm actually, really like seeing it in hand now just because I can put it down, get the rush ability without having to take my own life. I still think Hody Jones is better in let's say 70% of these scenarios. But a lot of the times, I'm not ready to take a life yet whenever I play Hody Jones. So 6 cost Momonosuke, really good. Honestly, I would just keep this hand. There's nothing much to complain about other than maybe the lack of counter. But, the 1 cost Yamato will help me find any counter I might need. So yep, I'm choosing to keep it. Looks like my opponent also decided to keep their opening hand. In that case, we're ready to go. Fist bump to start the game. My opponent's going first, so they go 1 Dawn. And they pass. It's my turn, I go to 2 Dawn. We're going to start off with tapping 1 Dawn to play the 1 cost Yamato, see what we got in our top 5. Ooh, unfortunately... Oh, there we go. We've got the 2k Hiyori that I was hoping for. Perfect. I think that's the easy pickup. I don't want any other Momonosuke's right now. Hopefully I take it. The fact that I'm doubting here. Oh my gosh. Okay. I think that's going to be my first misplay of this game. This is going to really affect how the rest of the game goes. Did I maybe think that I have 5 costs Momonosuke in hand here? Or was I just trying to double down on 2 6-cost Momonosuke's? That's kind of crazy. Yeah, we're gonna have to review that later. But, alright, back to my opponent. They're at 3 Dawn. See what they're gonna do with it. Fortunately, they didn't have the 1-cost Nami on turn 1, so they didn't do any searching. But they're gonna start off with a 5k swing at my life. Gonna give up the 4-cost Hiyori to counter out for 1k, going up to 6. And then my opponent is going to play Frankie for 3 Dawn. Pass back to me, I draw for turn, it's the 1-cost Momo, and then I go up to 4 Dawn. And we're just gonna go a big 9k swing at my opponent's life. Trying to get them down early. So, yep, they take it, perfect. No triggers. And unfortunately, yeah, this is... Why did I take the 6-cost Momo? I think if I took the 2k counter Hiyori, that would be better. My 6 Dawn turn, I can easily just play that, set up my life with the Kikunojo, and then maybe swing another 9k with leader. So I think that's a huge misplay. It's gonna be unfortunate. Back to my opponent. They're at 5 Dawn. They're going to go tap 5 and play Sanji and Pudding. Minus 2 Dawn from leader ability, regain 2 Dawn as active, or set 2 Dawn as active, and then regain 1 Dawn from Sanji and Pudding. They're at 6k now. 6k power on the leader. And they're going to attach 1 Dawn and go 5k at my leader. Oops, wrong color. Sorry, I hesitated there because I didn't recognize the Dawn card. Looks like my opponent is using Dragon Ball Z cards, or Dragon Ball Super, Fusion World, one of those card games as Dawn. That's pretty funny. Alright, I also wrote 6k here, it's only a 5k. 5k at my life. I think I should give up the 1k counter here. Just stay healthy. Oh my gosh, I am playing this really different from the way I'm reviewing it now. But okay, fortunately we did draw the Hiyori from life, so it means we can set up later. But my opponent is now gonna go 7k with leader at my life. We're gonna give up a 2k and a 1k to get out of this. Very interesting sequencing for me here. I think I should have just countered out of the first hit for 1 card and then taken the 7k leader. You know, I minus 2 cards from hand when I could have just saved myself by only giving up the 1k counter. So, optimization there that I could do in future games. Back to my turn. I am now at 6 Dawn. They have no blockers on board, but they are a 6k power leader, and they have 1 Dawn active. If I took the 6-cost Momonosuke, then maybe I was trying to, play 1 now and then play 1 on 8 Dawn turn to just get the 2 big rush bodies on board. But I think it just doesn't make any sense to me. And now I'm only going 7k here. Interesting. 7k with leader, double tag to life. My opponent's gonna pitch a 2k to get out of that hit, since they are a 6k base leader right now. I'm gonna tap 2 Dawn, play the Hiyori, take my top life, and set up the Kikunojo. And then since my opponent is at 3 or less life, we're going to use leader ability, give my Yamato 2 Dawn, and then attach my last 2 Dawn and go a 7k. Oh, actually, yeah, we're gonna go 7k at the Frankie, actually. So get rid of his ramp tool. I guess that's fine. Wanting to just guarantee that hit. My opponent is now at 7 Dawn. I have 5 cards in hand. They play out 7-cost Luffy Taro, minusing 1 Dawn, and playing out Zorojiro to look at top 4. Or top 5. Whoops. See what they find. They take the stage. Merry go. Okay. Then he's going to use leader ability, minus 2 Dawn, and restand 2 of his Dawn as active. And then thanks to Sanji and Pudding, he gets a Sanji and Pudding, excuse me, gets the ramp 1 Dawn. Okay, yeah. Looks like I was just making sure he was activating that. I forgot that Luffy Taro only does -1, not -2. My opponent's gonna tap 1 Dawn to play out the Merry-Go. He's gonna be able to draw 1 card. And then he's gonna go 6k at my Yamato, which I will gladly just let go. Can't counter out of that. That's 6-0. And then they're gonna go 7k at my lead, which I will take because I know it's the Kikunojo that I set up. So trigger that out, and now I have a 6k body on board. My opponent's gonna then tap their Merry-Go to just make their Sanji and Pudding, my gosh, a 7 cost. And then they pass back to me. I go up to my 8 Dawn turn. I've got a few counters in hand now, so that's good. I'm at 8 Dawn. This would make sense for me to go... Oh, maybe not. Alright, we're going for a different line of play here. We're going to tap 2 Dawn and play out the Izo, giving my leader Banish. And we're just going to go a big 11k swing. Double attack Banish at my opponent. They don't have any blockers, and they would have to use their Dawn to counter out of this, so I guess putting pressure on their hand right now is the goal, and maybe trying to get rid of their life, and they choose to take it. So I get to banish those 2 straight to the trash, and I just realized I used the wrong color there. Whoops, 11. And then I'm gonna go 6k to my opponent, which they counter out 1 for, or 2k for it. I then use leader ability to attach my 2 rested Dawn to my Izo and set up a blocker. That wasn't too bad. The 11k swing just meant that they would have to give up a lot of cards from hand, which they didn't want to, it seems like. So I got to banish them, and now they're at 0 life, which is good for me. This would be actually a really good turn for Hody, or sorry, the next turn for Hody, if I had it. We'll see here. My opponent is now at 7 Dawn, still. And they're going to start off with tapping 1 to play out the... I forgot the name of this event, honestly, but it's the Searcher event. I want to say it's... You're the one... Oh, when you're at sea, you fight pirates. Right. Sorry. Forgot the name, the full name. Then they're going to tap 4 Dawn to play out Zorojuro to search top 5 again for another purple Straw Hat. I also miss what they found off of the event search, so I'll just wait till they figure out what they find here. Okay, they find the 2k counter Sanji. Let me go back a little bit. Let's just see what they found off of the event. And they found Gum Gum Giant. Alright, so I know they have Gum Gum Giant, and I know they have a 2k counter Sanji. My opponent's going to now use leader ability to -2 Dawn and restand 2 their Dawn as active, then gain 1 Dawn back thanks to Sanji and Pudding. So they've got 5 Dawn active again. That's a lot of Dawn. This deck is just so good at reusing Dawn. Feels like they are playing with like 14 Dawn instead of 7 Dawn. Looks like they're gonna start off with a 7k swing to where I would think it's life. Yeah, I would think it's life. I don't think they want to KO my Kikunojo right now because that means I would gain a life, when they probably want to put me down to 0 life to get in range of lethal. 7k here is pretty big. I'm going to go ahead and use the 0 cost event to counter out for 8. Then they're going to go 6 to my Kikunojo. Oh. Okay. I mean, if I take it, I heal 1, which isn't too bad, but I do lose an attacker. And I give up a 2k. And then they go 8. I block. And then they pass the turn. Oh, not yet actually. Sorry. They're gonna go another 8 to Kiku, and now I let it go and heal 1. Using stage, they're gonna buff up their Sanji and Pudding to Sanji and Pudding. Why do I keep messing that up? To 7 costs. And then they leave 3 Dawn active. Going back to me, I'm now at my 10 Dawn turn. It's kind of scary that they have 3 Dawn still up, but they are at 0 life. They have, let's see how many cards in hand here. I want to say it's maybe 7 cards. This is a pretty, scary scenario for me. Like, one scenario is just attaching on my Dawn and going 15k here. But they could probably just counter out with how many Dawn they have open. So I'm going to go 7k. Sticking to my game plan of just kind of hitting at 7 to 8k ranges at their life. Let's see what they give up for it. They'd have to either over counter or give up the 2k, which they do. I think I forgot that they had a 2k. I think I probably should have swung a little higher there. But we're going to tap 6 to play out the Momonosuke, using Momonosuke's ability to detach 2 Dawn and give it rush, and we're going to go another 8k at life, which they now play the Giant. Draw 2, plus 4k. So they countered out of that, and then I play the Izo, and I attach 2 Dawn to it using leader ability to make it a blocker. It's interesting that I sequenced it that way. I guess it doesn't matter because they have no life, so it doesn't matter if I have Banish. So we were able to take some cards out of hand. I think it was a total of 3 cards from hand, but they drew 2 back, and then they just drew another one, so looks like they have 6 cards in hand. I think I said 7 earlier, looks like they have 6. Yeah, 6. They are now at 5 Dawn though. See what they can do with that. I'm feeling relatively okay just because I have 3 life. So we'll see what they do. They're going to start off with a 7k swing at my Momonosuke. That's 7 to 7. I think I counter here because I want to try to keep the Momo alive if possible, and I do. We're going to give up the 2k. Then they're going to go 8 into 7, which I will go ahead and block. This is just forcing him to swing at the Momonosuke, so protects my life a little bit. They tap 3 Dawn to play Robin, and then they're going to go ahead and attach 1 Dawn to Zoro to attack my Momonosuke for 7, which I have to let go. Then they use leader ability, minus 2 Dawn, to restand 2 Dawn and get 1 back from Sanji and Pudding. Still 4 Dawn active. Super crazy. And then they will pass the turn. Okay. And they pass the turn with 4 Dawn up, with 1 blocker in the Robin there. But fortunately, from the top of my deck, I drew Gum Gum Elephant Gatling. This might be able to save me. This card is a 1-cost event that says main. You may rest 1 of your Dawns. Rest up to 1 of your opponent's characters with a cost of 5 or less. And it has counter up to 1 of your opponent's up to 1 of your leader gains plus 3,000 power during this battle. So I drew a card to rest their blocker, which is really nice. But now the question is, with the 5 cards I believe he has in hand, since yeah, he had 6 at the beginning. Actually, I don't know anymore. I think he has, let's try to see how much cards he has in hand. Oops, gotta go back a little further here. One, two, three, 5? Yeah, I think he has 5 cards. So, with the card that I just drew, I could rest the blocker. So rest this for 2 Dawn. And then I have 8 Dawn left. I could try to, go for game here and go 13k at my opponent. But that's really risky because it's a green-purple Luffy leader. He does have Gum Gum Giant potentially, or Gear 2. Not a Gear 2, sorry. That's blue-purple Luffy. But here we go. I think the plan is to just rest the Nico Robin. And now the question is, do I split the Dawn or do I just attach it all? It's really hard because my opponent is a 6k leader, so if I attack 13k here, this is going to demand, let's see, a giant, which would make him 10, and then another giant, which would make him 14, so that's only 2 cards, or just give up a lot of 2ks. But alright, we're going to start off with only an 8k swing. And it looks like I'm splitting up the Dawn. My opponent just gives up a 2k and a 1k. And then I'm going to use leader ability, attach my last 4 Dawn to the Hiyori, and we're just going to go 6k at them, which they give up a 1k counter. So unfortunately they counter out of it, and thinking back at it, sorry, I'm going to pause real quick. I think I should have just swung really high here. A 13k swing, as I was trying to say earlier before cutting myself off. This would demand at least 2 giants from hand, and I should have been paying more attention or checked his trash, but he actually pitched the giant last turn, right? I knew he drew one from hand. He used that in my last attack, so I knew I should have known that he had 1 less giant in hand. He still has 5 cards, so it is a safe assumption to maybe think that he has another giant in hand. But yeah, let's assume he does. That means he can go +4 with giant. So that brings him up to 10. And now he needs to get out of 13k. So he would need at least a 2k and a 2k to go up to 14. So this would have demanded him to have a perfect hand, really. The Gum Gum Giant, 2k and 2k. So it would have been a much safer way, or much safer option for me, instead of splitting up my Dawn. By splitting up my Dawn and only going, what was it? 8k and 6k here. The 8k, he only needs 2 2ks, or sorry, he only needs a 2k and a 1k, so that's only 2 cards from hand, since he is a 6k leader. And then with the 6k swing, he just needs 1 card. So it's a lot easier for him to counter out of these swings than the 13k. And so looking back at it now, I think that was my missed opportunity there. And if I had known that he played out the Gum Gum Giant, then maybe that would have been a much better attack, because now it's like, hey, do you have Gum Gum Giant in hand? Maybe you don't. So unfortunate for me there. I pass back the turn to them. They are now at 6 Dawn, but I have no cards in hand and only 3 life, while they have essentially 6 attackers. So they're just gonna start off with this easy 5k swing at me. Oops, where's my pen? And they go 7, they go 8, and I have to take all of these. And then they go 9. And I can't counter out of that. Looks like I only had 9k counter in hand, so they did a perfect ladder swing. So unfortunate for me. And I will tell you now, after talking to my opponent after this match, if I had gone for that 13k swing, I would have won. And he was telling me how in his hand he didn't have giant, so he only had just a couple of like 2ks and 1ks. I think he said he could have gone to 13k, so it would have been just a perfect swing for me. He would have been 1k short. A little unfortunate there, but well played by my opponent. And hopefully I can, learn from this match. I think, going back to the early game, not taking that Hiyori was kind of unfortunate. I could have set up the Kikunojo a little bit better. It was nice that I was lucky and got the Hiyori out of life, but in that same turn, I probably should have countered out of that, I think it was a 5k swing, because that would have only forced me to give up 1 card in hand. But since I chose not to, I lost a life, and then I gave up 2 cards to get out of my opponent's leader swing. So not only did I lose a life, I lost 1 extra card when I didn't have to. Those were the only flaws I found in my match. Let me know in the comments below if you saw anything else, or if I should have done anything different. Otherwise, GG's to my opponent, and I'll see you in the final game. Until next time, remember, keep your minds fresh and your spirits free. See ya!